Welcome to the Xplainer. Look, today we are diving into something absolutely urgent and honestly, it could be life-saving. We're going to explore some incredible insights from Dr. Marcus Aura. He's a heart surgeon with 20 years of experience, so he knows exactly what happens when small, quiet problems get completely ignored. And the crazy thing is, those early warning signs almost always show up first in a place you probably aren't paying nearly enough attention to. Yep, your feet.
I absolutely love this quote, and it perfectly frames what we're talking about today. Catch a serious health issue early while your body is still just quietly whispering to you, rather than finding out years later when it is absolutely shouting. The whole core of our explainer today is understanding that critical difference. Your feet are literally trying to whisper to you right now, and today we're going to figure out exactly how to listen to them.
Now, what's really interesting about this whole concept is the story of Walter. He's a 71-year-old retired plumber from Ohio. Just a classic, hardworking guy. He goes in for his routine cardiology checkup, feeling completely fine. No chest pain, nothing. But almost as a total afterthought, his wife mentions to the doctor that Walter's feet have been kind of numb for the past year. Walter just laughs it off, you know? He tells the doctor, it's just getting older, doc. And we all do that, right? We write off those little aches and pains to age. But thankfully, his doctor decided to dig just a little bit deeper. That afternoon, his doctor ordered one extra test. Just a simple fasting glucose test, and the result came back at a staggering 218. His hemoglobin A1C was a 9.2. Walter wasn't just getting older. He had literally been walking around as a full-blown diabetic for at least 2 entire years without a single clue. No idea at all. Why? Because nobody had ever told him what those numb feet were actually trying to tell him. So the crucial point here is that we need to make a massive paradigm shift. When we hear the word diabetes, we immediately think sugar disease, right? But the reality is completely different. Fundamentally, it's a vascular disease. Think of it as a plumbing problem with your blood vessels. If you think about the plumbing in a house, the pipes that lose pressure or fail first are almost always the ones farthest away from the main pump. It's the exact same with the longest delivery routes in your body. We're talking about those tiny, delicate blood vessels way down in your feet. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, decoding the 9 hidden foot signs.
And this brilliantly illustrates our very first sign, which is persistent tingling and numbness. It's that exact fuzzy feeling Walter had. Now, we've all had our foot fall asleep, sure, but if it happens casually while you're just walking to the mailbox, that is peripheral neuropathy. Here's what's happening. High blood sugar acts like a slow, silent acid in your body. Imagine your nerves are like electrical wires. That high glucose literally strips away the protective plastic insulation, so the signals get all crossed, causing that tingling sensation. Nearly half of people with diabetes will develop this. The immediate proactive solution? Start taking a steady 20-minute walk every single day and cut back on added sugars right now to preserve that vital nerve function.
Sign number 2 is a burning sensation in the soles of your feet, especially at night. And it's exactly like a broken fire alarm. The building isn't actually on fire, but the sensor itself is damaged, sending these constant panic heat signals straight up to your brain. According to the journal Diabetes Care, this nighttime burning often shows up 1 to 3 years before a formal diabetes diagnosis. Think about that. That is a massive, incredibly generous warning window. To help quiet this alarm down, you want to aim for 8 glasses of water daily and start adding fiber to your meals. That fiber acts like a brake pad to slow down how fast sugar hits your bloodstream. Let's move on to sign number 3, cuts and small wounds that just stubbornly refuse to close. When your blood sugar is chronically high, those tiny blood vessels get stiff and narrow. It's like trying to water your garden with a kinked hose. The healing nutrients simply cannot push through to the wound. And this leads us to a truly devastating statistic from the CDC. Over 100,000 non-traumatic leg amputations happen every single year in the US from diabetic foot ulcers. And almost every single one of them started as an ignored tiny wound. So here is the rule. If a cut isn't showing signs of healing after 48 hours of basic care, do not wait. Call your doctor immediately. Sign number 4 completely hides in plain sight. It's a condition called diabetic dermopathy. Basically, you might notice that your ankles look slightly bruised or reddish, even though you know you haven't bumped them on anything. Sustained high blood sugar damages those small vessels, which literally starves the tissue of oxygen and visibly stains the skin. Research shows these skin changes are detectable on average 18 months before a diagnosis. 18 months. A really great micro-solution for this is just doing 5 minutes of simple ankle circles every morning to help push fresh blood right into those starved areas. Moving on to sign number 5, and this is the one that actually surprises people the most. It's deeply cracked heels that refuse to heal.
And this happens because the disease is attacking your autonomic nerves. Those are the automatic background nerves that run things you don't even think about, like your sweat glands. High sugar literally shuts off your foot's internal moisture pump. So these deep cracks aren't just a cosmetic issue. They are literal open doors for highly dangerous bacterial infections.
So, how do we actually fix this? Well, here are your vital moisturizing rules. First, moisturize your soles and heels thoroughly every single night before bed, and make sure you're hydrating from the inside out with plenty of water. But here is an absolutely crucial warning. Never, ever apply lotion between your toes. When you trap moisture in those tight little spaces, it is an open invitation for nasty, really hard to cure fungal infections.
Sign number 6 is persistent swelling, but specifically something called pitting edema. Now look, we all get puffy ankles after a long flight or standing all day, but if the swelling is there every single evening and it's leaving deep sock marks, you really need to check this. Diabetes is actually the leading cause of kidney disease, which completely throws off your body's fluid regulation, letting gravity pull all that fluid straight down. Try this quick test. Press your thumb firmly into your swollen ankle for 5 seconds. If you pull it away and the indentation just stays there like wet clay, that is pitting edema. You need to start elevating those feet for 15 minutes a day and immediately start checking the sodium labels on your food.
Sign number 7 is intensely misdiagnosed. We're talking about a sharp, stabbing, electric shock-like pain at night. So many people just pop a daily ibuprofen assuming it's some old sports injury acting up. But here's the reality. Damaged nerves don't always just go numb. Sometimes they become hyperactive, firing intense pain signals for literally no reason. Relying on ibuprofen just masks the reality of these damaged nerves. And even worse, taking it daily actively raises your blood pressure and significantly increases your risk of a heart attack.
So instead of masking the pain with pills, try this. Do 5 minutes of gentle foot stretches in bed every single morning before you even put weight on your feet. And this pairs perfectly with our solution for sign number 8, which is persistently freezing cold feet. If your feet feel like ice blocks in the middle of July, it's a massive marker for peripheral artery disease. Your vessels have narrowed so much that warm blood just can't make it to your toes. To combat both of these issues, get out there and take a brisk 30-minute arm-swinging walk daily. You've got to force that blood flow down and build up those vessel walls. And that brings us to sign number 9, which we refer to as the silent marker. Just take a look at your lower legs and the tops of your feet. Is the hair noticeably thinning or completely absent compared to your thighs? Hair follicles are tiny, but man, they're incredibly demanding. They need a constant, rich supply of oxygen. When long-term vascular damage starves them, the hair simply gives up and falls out. It is a quiet but super reliable physical sign that blood vessel damage is happening right beneath the surface. All right, let's move to section 2 and see how this all builds into what we call the $12 solution. Let's get to the good stuff. Here is your vital, highly actionable homework for tonight, and it's incredibly simple. Step 1, sit down in a room with very good lighting. Step 2, take off your socks. Step 3, examine both of your feet carefully for exactly 30 seconds. That's it. Look for the numb spots, check for any lingering cuts, look at the color of your ankle skin, and notice if there's any missing hair. It literally takes half a minute. If you do that check and spot even one of the 9 warning signs we just went through, here is what you need to do. Call your doctor tomorrow. Just ask them for a fasting glucose and a hemoglobin A1C test. These tests usually cost around $12 at a standard lab. $12 and a quick little blood draw can fundamentally alter the entire trajectory of your health for the rest of your life. Because remember, if caught early, this is so often completely manageable with just simple changes to your diet and your daily movement. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on today. What are your feet trying to say to you? Seriously, please do not ignore the whispers. Do your 30-second check tonight, and do me a huge favor. Share this explainer with a loved one, a spouse, or maybe a neighbor who's over 50. You might just be handing them the exact piece of life-saving information they didn't even realize they were looking for. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, start listening to your body, and I will catch you next time.